How you guys doing? This is Ghana's #1 blogger. I'm here talking about Raptors second round. Before I start that, let me give a big shout out to the Raptors for winning round one, smashing the Brooklyn Nets 4-0. Yes, we understand Kevin Durant is injured. Kyrie decided not to play in the bubble, but you know what? The show must go on. They lost game one to the Boston Celtics at a score of 112-94. The Raptors didn't show up. It was unfortunate, but I'm here to give you the breakdown as to what went on in that game. Let's start with first things first. Raptors played an atrocious first half. First quarter, to be exact, if you look at the numbers, Boston Celtics scored, I believe, like 39 points, and the Raptors only scored 23. And I feel, honestly, from there going forward, if you look at the statistics, the Raptors did get better in the second, third, and fourth quarter, but it wasn't enough. They actually had to make like a tumultuous shift within the third and fourth quarters in order to win this game. But if you look at the Boston Celtics, they had their foot on the gas from the first quarter all the way down to the fourth quarter. And they made sure that any sign of the Raptors coming back, they said, you know what, it's not happening. First things first, I'd like to point out is Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam in the first quarter had 3 fouls. That tells you something. This is your leader. Your leader can have 3 fouls within the first quarter because then obviously he's going to have to sit for a long portion of the first half. Yes, last year, Pascal Siakam was a number 2 behind Kawhi. It was a whole Batman and Robin rule. But now, you've moved from the Robin role to the Batman role. And you have to understand, now you're the one that's leading the team. Everybody looks to you. And everybody works and moves together. Yes, we have Kyle Lowry. We have Paul Gasol. We have Serge Ibaka. But guys, we need to really turn it up right now. Because honestly, if you look at the game too, perimeter shooting was horrible. Raptors couldn't even guard the Celtics on the perimeter. A lot of shots that the Celtics took on their perimeter were open shots. And Raptors had no response. Guys like, what's his name? Marcus Smart, Tatum, all the way down to Kemba Walker, had a field night with the Raptors, man. They were having fun. I believe when you look at Marcus Smart and you look at Tatum, they had 21 apiece against the Raptors. And then next in line was Kemba Walker, I believe, with 18. And then Jaylen Brown had 17. These guys put on a clinic against the Raptors. And as I always said, if you go back to my earlier blogs, I said that the Raptors wouldn't have an issue with this playoffs. The only issue I think they would have faced was when they faced the Boston Celtics. And now, here and clear, we have the Boston Celtics. Even if you look at last year, I kept saying that if the Raptors met the Boston Celtics, it would be a problem. But the fact that they got knocked out, Raptors went all the way through, ended up winning the whole thing. But I'm digressing now. Let's get back to the main stuff. Going forward, even Fred VanVleet's shots weren't dropping. Kyle Lowry's shots weren't dropping. Even the whole thing with Serge Ibaka, honestly, Raptors, what they need to do is contain. Let Channing Tatum do his work. But you have to understand, you got to lock down Marcus Smart. You got to lock down Kemba Walker. This is the same Kemba Walker that came from the Hornets. And he gave us problems in the Hornets. And now he's fueled the Boston lineup. Yes, we know Hayward is gone. But the question is it really going to be a big deal? Because, you know, their guys showed up. Our guys didn't. And we really need to get to the nitty-gritty. Honestly, guys, it's only game one. Let's not hit the panic button yet. Give the Raptors some time. At the end of the day, you have to understand, they're the defending champions. Let them run. Let them do what they got to do. We have an amazing coach in Nick Nurse. You know, usually when things happen like this, he goes to the drawing board. Make sure to see, okay, let's look at highlight tape. This is where we did terrible. Even if you look at the Celtics, I believe the Celtics had like 22, 23 turnovers, but yes, they still won. But what Raptors have to do is they really, really, really got to hone in on making their shots and playing the D that they need to play. Yes, when you look at both of these teams, they're really evenly matched because we have offensive weapons as in Van Vliet, Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, Norman Powell coming off the bench. You have Terrence Davis. You have Matt Thomas even in the back row. What I also look at too is I think what it is that our issue is we have a lot of small guys and they got a lot of big guys. I think honestly we need to stick Chris Boucher in there to also help with the perimeter defense going forward. As I said again, all is not lost. We just got to keep going. How you guys doing? This is the end of the Raptors news. I'm your host, Ghana's #1 blogger, and it's officially done. But before we're done, I want to give a big shout out to a few of my people. First things first, I want to give a big shout out to Alphonso Davies, Canadian international. Born in Ghana to Liberian parents, is now officially a UEFA Champions League winner. He's the first Canadian man to ever win such a prestigious championship. He was playing all the way in Canada, right here, yes, with the Vancouver Whitecaps. Bayern Munich says, we want this guy. In January, transferred him over. He ended up winning 3 championships. The Bundesliga, the DFB Pokal, on top of that, the Champions League. And not to forget, the Young Player of the Year. Pretty amazing right there. Give a big shout out also to Khadija, Brampton's own Buchanan, who is now a 4-time Champions League winner with Olympic Lyonnais, man. I'm proud of you, Khadija, man. Canada, man, we on the up and up in England, Germany, Belgium, you name it. Next things next. I want to give a big shout out to Kwame Osei, football coach, philanthropist, entrepreneur, life coach, you name it. He actually has a book right now, which is a children's book called Turtle in a Shell, that he's going to be interviewed at 7:15. By the time you guys probably see this on YouTube, he's already probably would have went through the interview, and he's going to be interviewed by none other than Mr. One Love T.O., aka Tyrone Edwards. Check that out, 7:15, Turtle in the Shell. Make sure you go purchase that book. And one more thing, I want to give a big shout out to my Kumericans, my boys, Ghana's #1 blogger, man. This is the official endorsement. I be a Kumerican myself. Shout out, man, Suntreso, Kumasi City. And again, I'm Ghana's #1 blogger, the 2019 Ghanaian Canadian Journalist of the Year.
What's again? Roger, give me